Welcome to Vendor Showcase. What I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to make a birdhouse. I'm going to do the house part just now. So I'm starting this project with a blank here. And I actually, you can see there's a little nub there where I parted it off. I started this blank as a double length, so I could make two pieces and put a tenon on each end to fit these jaws. And the reason I'm using these jaws is because they will be used for another part of this project. Any jaws would work here, but this way I don't have to change chucks or jaws. I have pre-drilled the bird hole and the hole for the perch, which is actually a toothpick, and I found what size it needed. I have also pre-sanded all four sides of this. So the flat sides are done. And I've got my chuck tight. I've got my safety glasses on. I'm going to start up the lathe here. And first thing I'm going to do is turn away that little nub from where the parting off was, and then we'll just make a divot in the center for a drill bit. I'm going to drill the hole for the house, and I'm not getting into tons of details about what I'm doing here just because of time. Needs to go a little slower, I think. I have made a mark on the drill, so when that mark gets to where I need to be, then I've done my hole. Now I could have drilled the perch hole and the bird hole afterwards had I wanted to. And I chose to do them ahead of time just in case perhaps the drills would try to tear out as they went through this hole I just drilled here. If you've seen some of my recent things, you know that I love pommel cuts. And this is a project that allows me to show off my pommel cuts. The pommel is an illustration of how the push cut works. I'm using my 3/8 diameter, 10 millimeter, 40/40 grind bowl gouge, and I'm making a pommel. And if you can see this, the shape I'm making is actually a cove. That's what it looks like there. But look at what we get revealed on the square side. I think this is so fun. It was just a plain cove, but it makes kind of an ogee shape on the square side. Okay, so I'm checking to make sure I got my expansion instead of turning the jaws the wrong way. And I made the block, the square block, as square as I could so that all four of those sides would look good. And I sanded it. I used a horizontal belt sander just because I have one. And then I used a random orbit sander to sand the four squares, the four flat sides down to 1,000 grit. So I put a mark where I want my pommel to end. And actually I want the pommel to go a little past that, so I'm going to cut that mark off. Sometimes it's hard to see that while I'm turning. I barely can. So I'm just going to put myself a little reminder mark on the tool rest so that if I get too carried away enjoying cutting this pommel so much, then right there is my last cut. And we'll make it nice and smooth. And from here, I'm going to make a ball on the end. And I may as well start that now with a peeling cut. The peeling cut where the bevel is contacting and I'm raising the handle as I push. Just a good way to remove a bunch of wood quickly. one of the things I am offering as a special this weekend is a discount on my next IRD, interactive remote online demonstration. And yeah, when you bury the tool in the wood like that, it's going to bite you. So you can see I've got a pretty good camera setup for doing demos here. And I encourage you to come and join me. When you sign up for one of my online demos, what you get is about a 3-hour class, typically, where I show you in depth how to make a project. And I'm also going to provide support materials like a drawing for the project and tool list, step by step for you to refer to later. You'll get a recording available for 6 months. And it's a high definition presentation and recording. So if you watch it on a big screen, it'll look pretty good. Just making a little ball here on the end, and I'm realizing there's going to be tailstock damage. So I'm now going to remove the tailstock. I kept the tailstock up as long as it wasn't in the way, but now it kind of is in the way. And I'm removing the tailstock damage here. Carefully with my spindle gouge. I want to remove all of the mark from the very point of the tailstock. And it usually damages the wood quite a bit further in than you think. So my next demo is going to be this here. It's a lidded umeki box, and this is a really great first box project. If you're just getting into turning boxes with fitted lids, then this design is fairly forgiving. You can do it without a lot of tools. In fact, I typically offer this, that you can do this with only a round scraper, which could be a carbide, a bowl gouge, a square scraper, and a parting tool. So now this is looking pretty good. I'll show you this side here, where what I was doing was creating this curve, finishing this cove here. And when I make a detail like this, I like to see a little V right there. So when I did the top of the birdhouse, I would have sanded the entire top part in that setup. And now I'm going to sand this end completely. I'm not going to actually do the sanding for you here, but this is when I would sand it. And because the square sides are already done, the sanding, once I sand my turned part, is done. And remember, you're going the opposite way to get this off the chuck. This is the house for my birds. Vendor Showcase will be happening again tomorrow, December 11th, and we sure hope you'll join us. To register, click the link in the comments below or scan the QR code on the screen. We look forward to seeing you online for more wood turning fun.